This is a driving review of the Lexus ES. What role does it play in comparison to the Lexus GS, even the Toyota Camry, and the German competitors Audi A6, Mercedes E-Class and BMW 5 Series? Let's find out more. Thomas and Auto Review, let's go. Recent Lexus styling has been defined by this very aggressive design, like someone took a samurai sword and then curved in the lines right here. So really aggressive styling in the front. Even more so in this F Sport trim, which has this darker front grille. It's a little bit brighter and more elegant in the non-F Sport trim. Here also with the headlamps, interesting daytime running light, and you can also optionally get an LED matrix. The length here at 4.96 m or 195 inches, and hey, the white color fits the vehicle very well, doesn't it? Here in the F Sport trim, a special badge, contrasting mirror caps right there, and also black wheels. They come from 17 to 19 inch, and here in the F Sport we directly have the big 19-inch wheels, so a very cool styling here also for the side profile, typical sedan shape and strong shoulder or hip area. Then what's also interesting, the Lexus GS has kind of the similar length. It's a little bit older model, but it's rear wheel based from the platform. This one here shares the same platform with the Toyota Camry and is front wheel based. It also offers this new, or this most current, hybrid drivetrain. So the main difference, GS more the sporty rear wheel driven style, but it's actually being discontinued. And here the ES, more modern vehicle, front wheel driven, more economical. These are the main technological differences. And later on in the driving part, also talking more about also in the interior difference. Is it worth the upgrade here for the ES if you compare it to the more price performance oriented Toyota Camry? Wow, also sporty styling in the rear, horizontally drawn tail lamps, nice design here, and no fake exhaust at all, so no job for the Auto Review fake exhaust police for today. By the way, the F Sport trim comes also with an adaptive suspension. Depending on the market, you have to pick that one then in the F Sport trim, or it comes automatically. And the 300H, the hybrid drivetrain, drives electrically up to 50 kilometers an hour or 30 miles an hour. But you know, it's more the buffer battery, so for electric moments. It's economic, yes, soon more in the driving part. Car key looks like this, slim and light, why not? And the door closing sound, it's very solid, like that. Inside of the doors here, nice build quality, everything soft touch, really soft here, and especially here for the elbow area, great build quality. Here this entry area, by the way, it does not stay clean as it is here. I have cleaned it, but after the rain this was all dirty here, the inside of the doors in the white area. Then here the interior, F Sport with that special steering wheel, has a compact size, really cool. And what's really likable here, still hard buttons at the steering wheel, left side for example to control the instruments, and on the right side for the cruise control. Way better than the recent capacitive BS we have seen. Seats are super cool, both the base seats and also here the F Sport sport seats. They both come with a very sophisticated leatherette, so it's animal free. In the US they call it NuLuxe. In European Union, for example, they call it EcoLuxe or Tahara. We've also seen that brand name in Germany and the UK, and it's super soft. It's perforated as well, and it just feels so sophisticated. Great job. You also have different colors available, both for the base seats and also for the sport seat. Showing you some colors here from the configurator, from the base seat. And also here for the sport seat, you can, for example, get a color mix between white and black, a red even, or just as it is here in plain black, where it's really awesome. Only if you go for the so-called luxury trim levels, you still get animal skin. As well as here on the steering wheel, no alternative there yet. Can be moved up and down really nicely, electric function. And you also have this comfort entry, so when I turn off the ignition, steering wheel goes up, seat goes back, easy entry. And yeah, you know it from Toyota and Lexus there, and also Hyundai and Kia, it's something is always beeping somewhere. That's really annoying at times. And yeah, now I turn on the ignition again, and well, the seating position is really sporty, especially with these sport seats. Good shoulder support. Headroom, some left with 1.86 or 6.1. There's also this small glass roof with a manual shade, but why not? You can also open that one. Good seating position here, but considering the length of the vehicle, it's not like most spacious in the segment in the front. But for me, it's totally fine. Interior overview. Soft touch here, soft touch there. Again, great build quality. Driving mode selectors here, not that practical while driving actually. big shifting lever, like that, good haptic feedback, and still manual control here, for example, for the volume, and also manual climate unit. Hey, nice to have it. 12.3-inch touchscreen meanwhile, soon more details to that. And in the lower part, you have here, for example, some charging devices. Then this touchpad, but most of the time now you directly use the touch screen itself. And here a very large cup holder, and you can also change the height. And here this changes both ways, quite interesting, with a lot of space underneath, and inductive charging pad. And also here for heated steering wheel and the heated seats, still manual buttons. Really is a relief to see that. And yeah, might be interesting for some. Look at that. This is a CD player. For the cable connection, by the way, you have to use the front USB supply. It looks kind of a little bit messy then. The instruments are not that fancy actually. The only strange function there is, look at that. Really? When I want to check, like the function on the left side, this is a mechanical function that really literally moves that to the side. Totally unnecessary. I mean, why did they do that? Yeah, it just looks funny, doesn't it? And tough to see because it's bright outside. Here, the head-up display, you can also activate that. It's a nice feature, definitely. Here, that infotainment system is a little bit outdated still from the software. Here also the GPS. Not sure you're going to use it that way. It works, but not that well. And also when you take a look at the climate menu, for example, yeah, rather you want to keep it with the manual dials and then really use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto right here. This is a very good integration, very clear. And let's listen to that one here. So yeah, the sound system also makes a good impression, also is quite sophisticated, and I really enjoy that I can turn up and down the volume here with the manual way. This one here, by the way, the one with the classic mirrors, yeah, they're quite dirty at the moment, sorry about that. But there's also one with digital mirrors available. Rear doors on top part is not that soft actually, but still quite okay. And here also soften again for your elbow, and that's an astonishing result. A lot of rear legroom here, that's maybe even better than with the German competition. Headroom comes close, but still works. I can put a hand over my head. But here, cozy also in the rear. You also have the perforated leather red here in the rear. And once again, really soft and nice quality. Isofix at the outside seats. And here the middle part. The middle tunnel is not that huge. You can sit there as a tall adult. It's possible. Of course, the outer seats are more comfortable each in the middle part. You can also fold down this one. It's a very sophisticated one here with cup holders and more storage space. Trunk button here, hard to find a little bit, but then rather shallow area right here. Cabin trolley, however, also fits in a vertical way. That's actually quite good. Length about 1.40 meters, and the width here also about 1.40 meters. Just here in the very front, this is actually like very wide. This one goes here in that small area, 1 meter, a little bit more than 1.60 meters. So, wow, more than 60 inches, impressive. As for engines, there's this unique inbuilt hybrid system, 2.5-liter inline 4-cylinder, around 220 horsepower is the system output, front-wheel driven. In the US, there's also a version with all-wheel drive, then with the 2.5-liter engine without the hybrid drivetrain. And there's also in some markets available a smaller 2-liter engine. And as well, once again in the US, a 3.5-liter V6 if you want it a little bit more powerful. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the Lexus ES, facing the most Germanish test there is. We have it here in Germany, this Japanese premium or luxury vehicle, luxury or premium sedan. We put it here to normal mode, sport plus mode, and then we're getting into the German Autobahn here and accelerate it from 40 kilometers an hour to, let's see, 100. 150. And that's 185. Let's see how fast we can go. 189 kilometers an hour is the top speed here. And it gets quite noisy in here. It's not laid out for these top speeds. I have to get off the throttle because the car is a little bit slower. And here in the Sport Plus mode, yeah, when it's fast, steering wheel is not that direct here when it's really fast. And yeah, the wind noise are quite notable. So here in this case, the German premium manufacturers are better. Audi, BMW, Mercedes, they are just more silent at higher speeds. They're also mainly built for that. The Lexus are mainly not used at these high speeds, and you've seen also with about 9 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers or 60 miles an hour, not the most performant vehicle, especially here in the 2.5 liter hybrid. It's not the main feature of this vehicle. The main features are to come up bit by bit, telling you about that. But of course, always interesting to test that. Here, by the way, when we're at a little bit lower speeds, the steering feels better, definitely. Also, even here in the normal mode, it's a little bit softer. In the sports mode, it gives you a little bit more feedback. But there, it actually does not have a dead zone area and is quite, offers a quite good feeling. And also the size, it's very compact, sporty here in this F Sport line. So I really like the steering feel and the steering itself. Just here at these very high speeds, it was not ideal. Ambient lighting, there's not much happening here at all, actually. So that's something that is missing, definitely. Here, let's pull back to the normal mode once again. The main differences here in the driving modes is more, how much RPM this car gives you. There are no real gears here. You can fake the gears here. Here with, changes kind of the RPM, and then you can also shift up, but that's not real gear shifts with the transmission we have here with this so-called eCVT. So that's also a thing, you heard it, sounds like that doesn't sound and doesn't feel sporty at all. Guess you'll have to live with that. Yeah. Will probably feel sporty with a 3.5 liter V6. This one here is more about the fuel economy, this hybrid drivetrain. It's also a unique feature. Soon more to the fuel economy figures here also for the hybrid drivetrain for today, both motorway and also off the motorway and so on. Well, it doesn't give you the most agile feeling. As for the acceleration, that's not the emphasis, so that's definitely where it's behind the German competitors. The general cozy feeling, how comfortable it is, however, that is really good, so it gives you a nice, sophisticated, comfortable feeling in here. Lane changes also, it is still a lot of fun to drive this vehicle, no doubt. When you're a tall person, it's a long vehicle. Definitely fits my size very well. However, it doesn't feel the biggest as for the interior space. Already told you that in the interior part. But what about when we really drive in a more agile way? So Sportman once again, also a little bit bumpy is this road here. Here the F Sport comes with an adaptive suspension, also a little bit stiffer now, but the difference is not that huge between the driving modes. But the suspension overall is actually quite decent, quite nice. 19-inch wheels, of course, you have more comfort when you have smaller wheels. Here, steering feels quite nice. You have to steer quite low, but not too much actually. And good feeling for the vehicle. Accelerating out of the corners with the front-wheel drive only, of course, not that much fun. Also not the best traction. You can also get an all-wheel drive version in the US, by the way. Not for the hybrid though. But here definitely a difference. Lexus ES versus the GS. The GS, you remember, made the older vehicle. Both similar length, similar segment they are in. They are dropping the GS. It's the older vehicle. But the difference is the GS was the more sporty rear-wheel drive based ones, and this one here on the Toyota Camry platform, front-wheel drive. So yes, the GS feels sportier. Definitely, that's the biggest difference between ES and the GS. This one, however, than the more modern car and also the more economical car. Soon more to that in our last driving part. Then, these are the main differences there. Then Camry and ES. Yeah, this one feels a little more, let's say, settled on the road. But definitely you also realize that the Camry is a very, very good vehicle as for the price performance. And yes, you do notice that they are sharing the same platform, because the whole driving feeling when you close your eyes is also not the greatest between these ones. But definitely here, as for the agile feeling, I still like the steering feeling, definitely. But yeah, especially BMW 5 Series and Audi A6 just feel more agile in the corners, are more fun to drive. The E-Class, of course, more has this comfort focus, is therefore the softest in the suspension. Seating-wise, really like the 5 Series and the A6, and this one here also, so they're also very comfortable seating. I think the Mercedes has the worst seats. I think, not for the seat materials, Mercedes is also quite good there, but as for the seat ergonomics, they are definitely also very interesting aspects. And yeah, but also, once again, as I said earlier, this segment here of the vehicles is just so cool because yeah, they're sophisticated, but they're not over the top. Yeah, I mean, it sounds a little bit profound maybe, but yeah, these are really gentlemen's vehicles or gentlewomen's vehicles. So yeah, as I said earlier, it shows that you've grown up. So yeah, let's talk a little bit more about some of the other grown-up features of this vehicle. Now to more advantages of owning a Lexus here, and also with this hybrid drivetrain. So motorway fuel economy, when you drive quite fast on the motorway and cannot use the full potential of the hybrid drive system. Here with this 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder, around 7 liters on 1 kilometer, so 35 mpg US, 40 something mpg UK. You can score better figures if you use more of the hybrid drivetrain, like for example here now, driving downhill, then you can gain back some energy, or you're in this EV mode, driving EV only. This happens quite frequently. The car does it automatically depending on the parameters and so on. You cannot really accelerate hard in the all EV mode. Now it's on, for example, but when you're just rolling or slightly accelerating, then you stay in this EV mode. And as soon as you go a little bit harsher on the throttle, then you're off. Still EV mode. Now we're going uphill, and now, for example, it has been turned off. It does save you some fuel already on the motorway. For example, when you have also on the motorway sometimes when you brake or so, but of course more effective in city traffic. So the motorway difference in fuel economy between this one here and the competitors is not that big, but the city traffic consumption will be having a bigger difference here between this one and the competitors without the hybrid drivetrain. Or of course also when you decide to go, for example, for the 3.5 liter V6 engine. But overall, this is of course still one of the unique things about this vehicle, that you can have one with that hybrid drivetrain here. Here at the lower speed on the motorway, we can test, for example, the assistance systems. Whoa, whoa, blinded by the light. The thing is here, the cruise control, it works very well, has an adaptive feature as well. Here we go, yeah. And these, we can still set it here on the steering wheel with hard buttons, and not like, especially new Mercedes models with all the capacitive BS. However, here the lane keeping assist, it stays deactivated, by the way. Must be some Japanese thing, because usually with the German cars always has to be activated. The active lane keeping assist here, for example, is doing a good job. Also very smoothly holds me in the lane. Sometimes I found a little bit too annoying, and then I deactivate it. Here at the moment it's working very well, although we are in this construction lane. But the good thing is here, once again, when you are at some point annoyed by it and think like, it's maybe not the type of road I want to use it, just one click here with the thumb and it's deactivated. So easy, and I don't have to search for years in that menu to have it deactivated. That's of course a very good advantage. Also here changing the volume and so on. Now me with touchscreen while driving. This is one good thing having touchscreen, because that touch field area in the lower part, that wasn't so easy to control. So the user interface in this vehicle here while driving, still somewhat classic, but I think they have found a very good mix. And to me, classic user interface is the better one, because the newer user faces are not known for being the better ones, but rather the worst ones indeed. Well, and then to the last and maybe most significant advantage here of being the Lexus, well, the difference in driving to the Toyota Camry is maybe not the largest. So you feel it, yes, and this one feels way more sophisticated, yes. However, considering the price difference, if you ask me, is it worth the price? I mean, that's a matter of philosophy, definitely. Of course, you have more fancy interior and you feel more sophisticated by driving. You have a different styling as well. But looking at the price, of course, it makes more sense to go for the Toyota Camry, especially because they share the same technology. It's good that they share the same technology because both Toyota Camry and the Lexus ES are among the most reliable vehicles on the market there is. And yeah, this is kind of the absolute advantage. Yes, it is not that sporty in driving if you compare it to the German competitors. The suspension might be better with the Germans. This one does not feel that agile. The engine performance is better with the Germans and so on. But the reliability, that one definitely speaks for Lexus. So if you intend to buy and own one and hold one for 10 years, that might be a very crucial factor indeed. Also tune in to our Toyota Camry review, very interesting, and to the competitors here from the Germans.